Our topic of the day is how might our lives change if gravity suddenly became 10% weaker? I think we can get some clues here from hearing about stories of astronauts in a space station. And primarily, I think humans would need to, of course, adapt to the weaker gravity, but what does that actually mean? It might mean that we'll all get weaker, or it might mean that we'll fight that and continue the training, more training, to balance out the loss of gravity so that we remain about the same in terms of our physical capabilities. And the reason why I say this is because I think in the immediate short term, evolution is not going to take place in the sense that it's not going to reward or punish organisms that don't adapt to the new gravity immediately. But over time, you'll see that perhaps organisms in general that live on Earth, including plants, will just get weaker and become more adapted to the weaker gravity. You could picture beings on the moon, for example, having less bone density, maybe less muscle mass. I think I've seen some sci-fi stories of trees growing on planets with low gravity, and they're just massive because they're able to do that. Maybe you have more birds, you have more flying creatures, who knows? In terms of humans, I think if we wanted to maintain our quality of life, we would need to train harder because there's less gravity. And we would need to run more. We would need to basically compensate for the fact that gravity is weaker. And as I was saying previously, we can kind of just look at space station and realize that the astronauts up there are actually training a lot to maintain their bone density, their muscle mass, and et cetera, et cetera. And over the long run, eventually people will get used to the low gravity and perhaps it'll just even out. But I think in the short term, we might need to overcompensate by just putting more work. And yeah, to reiterate, I think with the weaker gravity, in the short term, organisms, people, us need to put in more work and adapt to it. And over the long horizon, maybe, I don't know, a couple thousand years, maybe longer than that, a couple million years, it will all balance out and we'll see new organisms and new ways of adaptation just solely based off of evolution.